It's a very good afternoon. Welcome to ZTN NewsBlitz. Let's take a look at our top stories. 4 Harare councillors arrested over suspicious land deals. Zimbabwe annual inflation breaches 800%. Angola orders Brazil evangelical churches to close. And in sport, we'll give you Kadewere's bittersweet moment. The 40th SADC Ordinary Summit of Heads of State and Government is currently underway. Heads of State and Government are participating in the summit virtually due to the COVID-19 pandemic. President Emmerson Mnangagwa is participating from State House in Harare. It's being held under the theme 40 Years Building Peace and Security and Promoting Development and Resilience in the Face of Global Challenges. ZTN correspondent Takuchi Hambakwe is covering the summit and he gives us more.
The 40th session, which is currently in progress, saw the 16 member states convening and the exchange of chairmanship between the outgoing chairperson, who is the president of Tanzania, Dr. Magufuli, and getting in now into chairmanship is President Nyusi of Mozambique. Some of the highlights that have taken place so far are that Dr. Magufuli is calling for intertrade within the SADC region to be boosted. Currently it's just below 50%, but he also highlighted that there has been peace and stability within the region over his tenure as chairperson. The incoming chairperson, President Nyusi of Mozambique, has stated that he will continually work with all the heads of state within the SADC region to ensure that the peace and stability that's currently prevailing is maintained, and he also called on all parties, all member states, to ensure that they join hands and ensure that free trade is achieved within the region. Currently the heads of state are in a closed meeting and we'll be keeping you updated with everything that is happening here from the State House.
Residents in Bulawayo will get water as and when it's available for the next 2 weeks, as the water situation in Zimbabwe's second largest city worsens. The local authority this morning announced a strict water supply regime for the city, suspending the 144-hour water shedding program, which had seen residents getting water only once a week. In a notice, town clerk Christopher Dewey said the local authority was facing pumping challenges at 2 of the city's major reservoirs due to theft of electricity supply cables. Western suburbs will be the most affected by the latest developments. Bulawayo has been battling water shortages since last year, largely owing to successive droughts experienced in the country. Still with the cities, 4 Harare city councillors have been arrested for allegedly being involved in suspicious land deals. Those arrested were reportedly from Harare City Council's Housing Committee. Special Anti-Corruption Unit Head Mr. Tabani Mpofu confirmed the arrests.
Actually, the accurate information is 4. The 5th one is eluding arrest so far.
Transform Zimbabwe leader Jacob Ngarivume now has to wait for Friday to see if he will be released from remand. Ngarivume and journalist cum activist Hopewell Chingono were arrested in July on allegations of inciting public violence. ZTN courts correspondent Patience Namburo gives us more.
Harare Magistrate Trino Sutawashe will on Friday hand down ruling on Jacob Ngarivume's case based on what his lawyers are now saying are changed circumstances. His lawyers are arguing that July 31st has already passed and there is no longer any basis of keeping their client incarcerated. We spoke to his lawyer Moses Nkomo and this is what he had to say.
We've just come out of court where we argued the admission of Jacob Ngarivume to bail based on changed circumstances. The matter was successfully argued, but the court advised that it will hand down its ruling on Friday, the 21st of August 2020.
Zimbabwe's annual inflation accelerated to 837.53% in July, up from 737.3% recorded in June, according to latest official data. This is despite relative price stability enjoyed over the last few weeks. Figures from the Zimbabwe National Statistics Agency also show that the monthly inflation rate rose marginally to 35.53%, up from 31.7% in June. Economist Kudzanai Sharara said inflation continued to rise because of the initial skepticism around the foreign exchange auction system.
that went up to because the inflation figures are taken mid-July, somewhere mid-July or mid of every month. So I think by that time, people were still not sure how the auction system was going to work. So prices continued to go up during that period. But post that now, maybe after the mid of July to August, I think prices have now stabilized. So the August figures are the ones that will really determine whether that will reflect the price stability that we are seeing now.
Confederation of Zimbabwe Retailers President Denford Mutashu says the country was set to enjoy relative price stability.
So far, you have we've enjoyed relative stability on pricing generally across the retail and the wholesale sector, and we also have stable inflation in US dollar terms, because a lot of prices now are also fixated in US dollars. So basically, the movement can actually be attributable to money supply.
Economics professor Gift Mugano, however, argued that the data collection model used by Zimstat was flawed.
The real issue on the ground is that our prices are not stable. I think the central bank needs to have a proper database of the prices to make informed decisions on the pricing regime in this country, so that we don't then get confused when we look at, say, bread, mini meal, and the cooking oil, those few products. When they are stabilizing, we say things are okay.
Prosecutors in Angola have ordered the closure of places of worship belonging to one of Brazil's biggest churches, accusing it of corruption. At least 7 buildings belonging to the Universal Church of the Kingdom of God have been seized in the capital, Luanda. Prosecutors said the evangelical church had been involved in tax fraud and other fiscal crimes. UCKG officials have previously strongly denied any wrongdoing. Last year, about 300 Angolan UCKG bishops broke away from the Brazilian leadership, accusing it of mismanagement and not being African enough. UCKG officials described the accusations as defamatory. Kenyan senators say their 3 colleagues were arrested on Sunday night ahead of a vote on budgetary allocations to counties. The vote on revenue sharing, due on Monday, has been postponed a record 8 times over disagreements on a contentious formula for distributing 316.5 billion Kenyan shillings among 47 counties. Former Majority Leader Kipuma Murkomen told the Senate on Monday that Senators Clopas Malala and Christopher Langat were arrested at their homes in the capital, Nairobi, while Tumbesi Lelekwe was arrested on his way to the Senate. The police have yet to respond to the claims. New Zealand Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern has postponed the country's general election by a month amid a spike in coronavirus cases. The vote was due to take place on September 19th, but now will be held on October 17th instead. Ms. Ardern said on Monday that the new date would allow parties to plan around the range of circumstances we will be campaigning under. Earlier this week, the country's largest city went back into lockdown. The opposition National Party has argued the election should be delayed as restrictions on campaigning mean Ms. Ardern had an unfair advantage. We move now to sports, where Prince Kadewere would never have known he was to be honored in this way. This, in many ways, is a bittersweet story of how French side Lyon paid their respects to the late Zimbabwean footballer Prince, brother to their teammate Tino Kadewere. Lyon players warmed up in t-shirts in his memory before their Champions League win over Manchester City on Saturday. And to cap it all, their top striker Musa Dembele also dedicated the win to him. Tino returned to Zimbabwe last week for the burial. Athlete Sphere Management Sports Agency President Gerald Sibanda believes the setting up of an academy in Harare in partnership with Real Betis is a game changer. He speaks about their plans.
You know, with the program, we're looking at kids from as young as 5 years old until 19 years old. and majority of these kids are all in schools, primary schools and high schools. So what we'll do, we're looking at 4 regions around Zimbabwe, 4 key regions. So it's not like it's only happening in Harare. We're going to expand it. We're already going to be partnering a few schools. We've already agreed it principally, but definitely you will be the first ones to know which schools are going to benefit from the program. And yeah, we'll also have football camps happening around the country. I think junior football has been crying for attention, and I think this is the right time, this is the right moment that all stakeholders must come together. It's not about me. It's also not about Rio Betty. I think it's about Zimbabwe.
And that's all from us on ZTN NewsBlitz. Thanks for watching. Oh, sweet Jesus.